This is Canada's largest organic hazelnut farm. So does anyone want to guess how many trees we have?
1,000. 2,000.
Up.
20. Wow.
5.
5,000. No,
10,000.
Close. It's actually 8,000 trees. So basically, we grow 2 different varieties on this farm. The main variety is called Barcelona, and its pollinator is called Butler. So hazelnuts are not pollinated by bees, they pollinate each other by wind in January, February. So I'm just kind of gonna split you guys up here. If you look at this tree here, you can see how from the trunk it kind of yews out like that. That would be the Barcelona tree, or if you want, you could consider it the female tree. And then if you count 1, 2, 3 over, you see how that tree goes straight up? That would be the Butler tree, or the pollinator tree. So yeah, like I said, in January, February, it gets very, very windy out here. So that helps to spread the pollen around. We'll see if we can, right here, these are called catkins. Now they're already growing, but by the time January, February gets here, they'll be quite large, kind of like cottonwood trees. And then they break apart and they actually flow all around the field. On a good day, you can actually see an orange hue all over the field. So if you can see that, it means it's going to be a really good year for hazelnuts. This year was actually a bumper crop year, which means usually they go every 2 years, and then they have a bumper crop, which is a very, very, very good crop. Now, if you look at this tree, does it look healthy to you? No. Has anyone heard of EFB? It is called Eastern Filbert Blight. It's it's terrible. It's an airborne virus that's come up from Oregon. Unfortunately, it's going to destroy all hazelnut fields within 10 years. Yeah, first year that it's been this bad in our field. Apparently, it was first seen in BC in, I believe it was 1996. Didn't really start doing any damage until 2003. Now it's here, and what it does is airborne, so it starts at the top, works its way down the tree into the trunk, into the roots. Your tree is toast. So these didn't actually have any nuts on them, or very few. We couldn't see any. And does anyone know what tomato blight looks like? With the black spots? If you probably can't see, but if you were to get up there, you would see black spots going all the way along the tree. Now, thank goodness there's a guy out in Langley who's very, very smart, and he cultured blight-resistant trees. So as an experiment this year, for the first year, we've planted about, you can't see, but there's kind of an open field over there. We have 400 blight-resistant trees that will apparently not get the blight, and they've actually genetically modified them to start reproducing in about, we're hoping 2 to 3 years, might take 5 years. This is an older variety of hazelnut tree. It can take up to 7 to 10 years to start bearing fruit. So hopefully we can kind of bring up the production, kind of level it out, because these will eventually have to be taken out, the stumps grinded out, and then replaced.
There's nothing you can treat them with?
No. Number one, we're certified organic, so we don't spray. And then there is nothing you can do about it.
So you use the term bearing fruit. So is that the term you use for even when it's nuts?
Yes, sorry, when bearing fruit, yeah, would be the nuts. Yeah.
How important is it being certified organic to you?
Well, you can definitely charge 20% more than, I mean, it definitely increases the price. There is so many foodies right now that want organic, and to be honest with you, hazelnuts grow the best if you do nothing to them. You don't need to.
Unless they're dying.
Well, that's true, but yeah, you don't even need to irrigate the big trees. Does anyone want to guess how old these trees are?
50 years.
I was going to say they're almost as old as me, so if you say 50 years, you're not allowed in the store at all. They're actually 32 years old. And somebody had said, I think it was you, that they were actually planted closer than I thought. Further apart. Believe it or not, they're actually too close together. Now when they get to be this large, they start to encroach on each other. You want to have a little more room just so they can grow out a bit more and then create, obviously, more photosynthesis, more leaves, more nuts. So what we are actually doing is, okay, this is the perfect row. If you look down, you can see that there's an extra tree planted down there. The original farmer who planted these fields 32 years ago for some reason decided to throw an extra tree in here and there, which is fine, but our harvesting equipment fits through exactly this way. So you go and you throw an extra tree in there, the tractors can't get around it. So how we harvest is with a sweeper machine, and it's going to drive through and it sweeps all the nuts and whatever else it picks up into a row, and then you drive the harvesting paddle kind of harvester, which kind of paddles them up like a golf ball machine would, into a harvesting tote.
So you weed them off here.
Yes, sorry, they are all harvested off the ground. Now the nuts, there's still some in the trees. They will start falling usually August, September. We just harvested this field last week actually, last Friday and Saturday, and there's still nuts will still continue to fall. Normally when they fall, they can still be green, they will ripen on the ground.
So you're not worried about critters coming and harvesting, feeding
Actually, believe it or not, there are not a lot of squirrels out here. We lucked out. And we actually have 3 farm dogs who act as really great ratters, squirrelers. If there is a squirrel, they usually get them right away. And even so, if we had a few squirrels, they wouldn't even put a dent in the production. We do have a bear, and the bear eats totes full of nuts in the season. Yeah, so, and he's fat and he's huge. Hazelnut oil is so good for your hair and your skin. Yeah, he's got quite the life. He eats the hazelnuts here, and then this farmer over here every other year, they alternate between corn and grass. So when it's corn, he just goes over there, eats corn, comes back here, eats hazelnuts. He gets so fat that he just doesn't even move. Like, it's quite...
Would you be allowed
a great
to
coat.
dispatch him here?
Pardon?
Would you be allowed to shoot him here?
Oh gosh, no, you're not allowed to shoot bears. You can trap them if they're problem bears, but he's been here for 6 years, never posed an issue other than eating a tote of hazelnuts. We're not too worried about him.
What's a tote of hazelnuts worth?
Oh yeah, good question. It depends. A tote usually weighs about 1,000 pounds. So, I mean, yeah, wholesale price for a pound of organic is $7.68. So, and we sell a pound of kernel in the store for $14.50 of the organic. So, I mean, he does take a fair bit, but